Hola, buenas noches.
Buenas noches, profe, bienvenido.
Gracias, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo le va?
Bien, ¿y usted, profe? Muchas gracias.
Bien, bien, gracias a Dios. Profe, estoy agregándome con la otra para el tema de la pantalla, ¿yo?
Ya, profe.
Ok. Dice que bailamos. Ajá. Eh, no hay nadie.
No, profe, aún todavía no ha ingresado nadie. En 2 minuticos arrancamos.
Ah, listo, listo.
Para mí estuvo excelente porque tú a entender bastante el término que no conocíamos.
No, no se le oye bien, profesora.
Buenas noches a todos. Les doy la cordial bienvenida a la clase de gramática para compartir los parámetros de las secciones por videoconferencia. Las secciones se graban, pueden verlas nuevamente en la plataforma virtual. Les solicitamos que por favor silencien sus micrófonos y puedan activarlos cuando quieran hacer consultas o aportes con el permiso del docente. Le pedimos que mantengan su cámara activa. De no poder hacerlo, enviar su excusa por el chat de Zoom. De lo contrario, será retirado la sección y le serán restados puntos en la reevaluación del docente. Mi rol como moderador es facilitar y apoyar en la parte técnica. Consultas por el chat, personal o general. Les exhorto a tener bolígrafo y papel para hacer sus anotaciones y aprovechar al máximo esta sección que tiene una duración de 2 horas.
No se le oye.
Profe, ya ahí los parámetros ya puede continuar.
Ah, gracias. Good evening, students and Elizabeth. Today we present the class. Let's begin. Ready. Well, like always, my name is David Franco. David Franco. I present you the subject grammar number 4. The dosage and organization of the subject. You remember in the past, in the first week, we So the transitive and intransitive verbs compound nouns too. Last class, we saw the line linking words and dynamic. Now today we will see the dynamic and stative verbs. Is 2 weeks is for today, 8 hours and 60-hour work time, the second module. The rubrics or evaluation criteria, self-assessment and metacognition, evaluation and final notes. Remember, student value is 5%, evaluation is 5%, curriculum unit 1, 20%, curriculum unit 2, 15%, and curriculum number 3, 20%. Curricular unit 4, 15, and curricular unit 5, 20%. That total is 100%. Remember, for your comfortable, you need to first thing you should do is located yourself in a comfortable place with enough light and without distraction. Turn out the TV and cell phone if it's necessary. Read the objective carefully. They will help you understand what you want to learn. To make it easier for you to learn the subject, the document is divided into 5 parts called modules. I told you before about that. Do not skip tasks. Complete each one of them in the given order in the platform. Remember, stated verb in the platform, we have videos and reading. Video 2, dynamic and stated verb. Reading 2, dynamic and stated verbs 2 in reading. Let's begin. Stated and dynamic verbs. Verbs in English can be classified into 2 categories: stated verbs and the dynamic verbs. Yes, dynamic verbs sometimes referred to as action verbs. Some persons, some teachers say is dynamic verb or action verb. Usually describe action, we can say, or thing that happened. Stated verb usually refer to a state or condition which is not changing or likely to change. The difference is important because stated verb cannot normally be used in the continuum. Normally it is in the verb to be and ing forms. This will explain the difference between the 2 types of verbs and give lots of examples of each kind. There are many types of dynamic verbs, but most of them describe activity or events which can begin and finish. A dynamic verb like play, melt, and hit. Yes, play, the type is activity. Example, she plays tennis every Friday. We see in this case it's activity in the present. She's playing tennis right now, in the moment. Melt in dynamic verb, process. The snow melts every spring. The snow is melting right now, is the moment. By that reason is dynamic verb. Hit, momentary action. When one boxer hits another, brain damage can result. The subject only one punch. When one boxer is hiding, another brain damage can result. The subject many repeat punches. Stated verbs usually refer to state or condition, which is quite static or is changing. They can be divided into verbs or perception or cognition, which refers to things in the mind, or verbs of relation, which describe the relationship between things. Like some example in this square. Stated verb, type an example. Hate, like perception. I hate chocolate. Don't say in the moment or the action here. It's only it's a perception or cognition, right? Believe is a perception. She believes in UFOs. Ella cree en ovnis. Contain, relation. The box contained 24 cans of soda. This is cognition too. Own, relation. John owns 3 motorbikes. Yes, we see like the different stative verbs and dynamic verbs. We see she's playing tennis is in the moment, or play tennis is an action. A difference in stative verbs is not action, is sometimes is perception. Refer thing, the thing in your mind. See? Some example of verbs, dynamic verbs and stative verbs. There are many types of dynamic verbs, but most activities or events which can begin and finish. Some example like stative verbs are love, hate, like, see, hear, sound, think, meaning have an opinion, mind, meaning care about, recognize, seem, have, meaning, own, prefer, doubt, consist of, and finally mean. In the dynamic verb, like eat, drink, go, type, write, listen, speak, watch, say, draw, work, sleep, cook, and the last is talk. These are different the verb. We use commonly in stative verb. A different dynamic verb is another verb. Now we will see 2 videos about the explanation about the dynamic and stative verbs. We see the first.
This is English start. Dynamic and stative verbs. We can divide English verbs into 3 groups. We have dynamic verbs, also known as aggressive, continuous, or action verbs, stative verbs, also known as non-continuous verbs, and mixed verbs. Let's take a look at dynamic verbs. Most verbs are in this group. Dynamic verbs usually involve an action or an active process. Some examples are to play, to eat, to speak. We can use dynamic verbs to form the continuous tenses. I am playing with my friends. She was eating lunch with them.
Remember, when we talk about the dynamic verbs, we use in some cases normally the continuing tense with ing. You see, I'm playing. She was eating lunch with him. Yes. In this case, is the present continue. Yes.
And we will be speaking with you later. Now let's take a look at stated verbs. Stated verbs are used to talk about states and situations that continue for a long time. They include adverb verbs such as to know, to want, to need. Emotion verbs such as to love, to hate, prefer, and possession verbs such as to have, to own, and to belong. We cannot use stated verbs to form the continuous tenses. I am knowing this girl is not correct. He was hating his wife is not correct. I will be earning.
We use normally the continued tense in dynamic verbs, not static verbs in some cases.
This house is not correct. Please note that although they are not correct grammatically, a lot of native speakers use them to refer to active processes, such as I'm loving it. Let's take a look at mixed verbs. Mixed verbs have two meanings. One meaning is dynamic, and the other meaning is static. For example, the verb to look. To look has a dynamic meaning and a static meaning. The dynamic, for example, would be I am looking at you. Here we are talking about I am observing. And in the stative, you look happy. Here we are describing a state. You appear happy. Some more verbs in the mixed group are to hear, to weigh, to feel, to appear, to have, and to see. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.
Yes. Okay. Now we will see the next video is about the dynamic and static verbs.
Bienvenido al Café Inglés, el podcast dedicado al aprendizaje del idioma inglés. Mi nombre es Ismael Sereno y el día de hoy veremos el tema de static verbs versus action verbs o verbos estáticos contra verbos dinámicos. Vamos a comenzar leyendo nuestro primer ejemplo que dice así. This is my parents' house. Esta es la casa de mis papás. They bought it 20 years ago. Ellos la compraron hace 20 años. They own it. Ellos la poseen. ¿Cuál será la diferencia entre nuestro verbo en azul y nuestro verbo en rojo? Muy bien, nuestro verbo en azul representa una acción, algo que se realizó hace 20 años. Nuestro verbo estático, it's an static verb. Un static verb nosotros lo podemos definir como un verbo que no cambia con el paso del tiempo. Y una manera muy sencilla de comprobarlo es que si nosotros le queremos agregar una terminación ing a este verbo, va a perder sentido. En la oración de abajo tenemos, they are owning it, ellos la están poseyendo, como que ya no queda. Recordemos, they bought it 20 years ago, ellos la compraron hace 20 años, por lo tanto simplemente la poseen y ya, no se necesita agregar nada más. En el cuadro que tenemos aquí abajo, es una lista completa de los stative verbs. Vamos a leerlos de uno en uno y mencionar algún ejemplo para que te quede mucho más claro. ¿Estás listo? Vamos a comenzar. Por excelencia, nuestro verbo to be. El siguiente, believe, creer. Belong, pertenecer. Contain, contener. Depend on, depender. Deserve, merecer. Exist, existir. Hate, odiar. Know, saber. Like, gustar. Love, amar. Matter, importar. Need, querer decir. Own, poseer. Need, necesitar. Prefer, preferir. Remember, recordar. Resemble, recordar. Pero entonces, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre este y este? Por ejemplo, nosotros podríamos decir, I remember yesterday class. Yo recuerdo la clase del día de ayer. Y en este podríamos decirle a alguien, oh, you resemble my grandmother. Tú me recuerdas a mi abuelita. ¿Ves la diferencia?
Sorry.
Y el maestro, la clase del día de ayer. Y en este podríamos decirle a alguien, oh, you resemble my grandmother. Tú me recuerdas a mi abuelita. ¿Ves la diferencia? Continuemos. Sin parecer que, y finalmente, understand o entender. Ya nos queda entonces claro que, por ejemplo, vamos a tomar el caso de saber. Nuestro verbo saber, nuestro verbo no. Imagínate que estás en un salón de clases.
Well, we have problem with the audio. Well, I give you the class. Prefer one minute.
Por ejemplo, en el caso del think, pensar. Knowing, I no, no, I'm knowing the answer. A lo que el maestro inmediatamente le va a decir, no, 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 no. Do you know it or not? ¿Te la sabes o no te la sabes? Nada que te la estás sabiendo. ¿Ven entonces? Que nosotros gramaticalmente sí podemos agregarle la terminación ing porque estamos cumpliendo con la regla. Verbo to be, verbo en ing. Pero narrativamente hablando, eso no significa que sea correcto. Y hay entonces 3 situaciones especiales de las cuales tenemos que tener cuidado. Situación número 1. ¿Qué pasa cuando hay verbos que pueden aplicarse tanto de forma estática como dinámica? Vamos a ver qué pasa, por ejemplo, en el caso de think, pensar. En el ejemplo tenemos, I think you're right. Pienso que estás bien, pienso que estás en lo correcto. Este think tiene más bien la connotación de el verbo creer. Yo todo el tiempo creo que tú estás bien. Yo confío en ti. Y en el ejemplo de abajo tenemos, I'm thinking about it. Podríamos pensar en, estoy pensando en un problema. I'm thinking about the problem. Entonces aquí estamos viendo un verbo que se presta para ambas situaciones. Vamos con el caso curioso número 2, que es acerca del verbo to be. Nosotros tenemos, Lucy is an introverted girl. Lucy es una chica introvertida. En este caso, nuestro verbo to be está funcionando de forma permanente, como un verbo estático. Pero ¿qué pasa en el de abajo? Lucy is being very sociable today. Lucy está siendo bastante sociable el día de hoy. Probablemente es su cumpleaños. Y aquí tenemos una combinación bastante interesante porque tenemos 2 verbos to be. Claro que esto es posible. Es nuestro verbo to be, en este caso en simple present, y tenemos nuestro verbo en forma pura, pero con la terminación ing. Lo importante es notar que este verbo to be está hablándonos de una situación permanente o estática, y este verbo to be nos está hablando de una situación que se habla de el comportamiento, algo que puede ser temporal. Caso curioso número 3. ¿Qué pasa, por ejemplo, cuando tenemos un verbo completamente estático como love, pero aún así lo queremos utilizar con terminación ing? Nos puede dar, por ejemplo, este resultado. I'm loving this cake. Una situación muy breve, pero a la cual nosotros le podemos poner bastante énfasis. O también podremos decir, this party is costing me a lot of money. Esta fiesta me está costando muchísimo dinero. No es algo que se vaya a repetir todo el tiempo, pero cuando sucede, vaya que sí te está costando bastante. Entonces son 3 casos curiosos que tú tienes que tener en cuenta para que no únicamente te aprendas de memoria los stative verbs y nada más. Ahora vamos a poder brincar a nuestro ejercicio. ¿Qué es lo que vamos a hacer? Vamos a suponer que tenemos una cuenta de Instagram, la cuenta de Instagram de Paco, y lo que tenemos son distintas fotografías de lo que él hace en su vida. Lo que nosotros vamos a tener que hacer es que en la parte de los comentarios, quiero que por favor tomes como inspiración alguna de estas fotografías
I
y te
think
sirva.
is It's clear about the ing. We use ing when we talk about the dynamic verbs, and because it's an action, yes. And dynamic is suppose or when you talk about the time, yes. Next. Steady verb. Steady verb or not action, remember, don't use action, are verbs that describe a state or condition rather than an action. As a stage has no real beginning or end. Steady or end when the verb or the sentence don't finish when you talk or write the sentence. Steady verbs are only used with simple and perfect tense. They cannot be used with continuing tenses. We talk about that. Don't use in continuing tense. There are some most common verbs that refer to state or condition. So they are steady verbs. Possession and size. Examples: belong, own, have, meaning, possess weight, measure. Example: Ali owns 3 cars. Ali is owing 3 cars. Next. Opinion. Example: know, believe, agree, think, meaning believe or have an opinion. Imagine and understand. Example: I know what the answer is. I am knowing what the answer is. Likes and dislikes. Feeling and emotion. Example. Example of feeling or emotion is like, love, want, need, wish, prefer, and dislike. Sam likes vegetables. Sam is liking vegetables. We can use in perceptions. Yes. Perception and the sense. Percepción o sentidos. Example: sound, hear, seem, appear, look, taste, smell, feel. Example: you sound sad. You are sounding sad. Although they are usually used as steady verbs, these verbs can also be dynamic when they are used to describe voluntary action, no perception. When you describe action. Next. Okay. Stative. Stative is an adjective which describes something as having a state or existing. This is a very uncommon adjective. In English grammar, or stative verb means that the verbs describe or state rather than action. Stative verbs are something nouns and state verbs. Like example, Kevin won some ice cream. Yes, okay. In this case, it's stated because he wants, but he don't eat. He don't eating ice cream. Only it has a perception, a thought, una percepción, un pensamiento. Kevin quiere algo de helado. ¿Sí? In this case, it's stated, but we say Kevin está comiendo un helado, sería dynamic verb, porque está ejecutando una acción. Next. Right. Example of stative verbs: love, hate, like, preferred, doubt, seem, know, own, and understand. Here are some examples showing that these words cannot be used in the progressive form. Remember, don't use ing o no use el ing cuando hablamos de stative verbs. The correct form is I like chocolate, but I prefer cake. Yes? Incorrect form is I am liking chocolate, but I am preferring cake. Don't use ing. Another example is incorrect form. I don't understand you when you speak quickly. Or you can say, o no puedes decir, oh, this is incorrect form. I am not understanding you when you speak quickly. Yes, this is the correct form and incorrect form. Remember, in this word cannot be used in the progressive form or continued tense. Next. Dynamic verbs. Dynamic verbs are verbs which describe an action, change, or process that has a beginning and the end. They are the most common type of verb and can be used in all tenses and aspects. When referring to an action that is or was in progress. Yes, when is an action in the moment or are or was in progress. We use dynamic verb with a even we use in continued tense. Remember, we use when there are a action or change or process. Yes, example. I am eating breakfast now. If you remember the last slide, we saw that a man, he want to ice cream. Yes, but he thought he has a perception. In this case, a dynamic verb is an action in the moment, in the process. In this case, an example, we see that I am eating breakfast now. However, when referring to habits or things that are always true, we use them with a simple test. I eat breakfast at the same time each day. Yes? Next. Here are some common verbs that refer to action, not state, so they are dynamic and can be used in both simple and continued tense. Remember, we talked about the dynamic use in continued tense, but stative verbs don't use continued tense. Some examples of verbs are eat, run, swim, speak, talk, walk, sleep, make, cook, come, go, buy, sit, watch, listen, do, play, say, read, write, stand, bring, take, give, jump, drive, write, climb, fly, fall, cry, drink, send, kiss, wear, smell, taste, feel, and look. These are often stative verbs, but they can be used in continuing form when they are voluntary action, when we see the asterisk. First, here is a list of some dynamic verbs. You can see that they are all used to describe an action, change, or process. We said before in another slide. Most of them are used to describe an activity which has a start and finish the action. Next. Example of dynamic verb. Eat, walk, learn, row, sleep, talk, write, run, read, become, go. This word can all be used in the progressive form. Dynamic is an adjective which means something is moving or changing or are in process when the meaning or the circumstance is in process or are moving or changing in the moment. In English grammar, or dynamic verb means that the verb describes an action rather than state. Dynamic verbs are something known as action verbs. It's in action. Next. Dynamic. Dynamic is an adjective which means something is moving or changing or are in process. In English grammar, a dynamic verb means that the verb describes an action rather than state. In this case, we can see the example, Joe is chasing the boot. Yes, is a moving, is an action in the moment. Next. Example sentences with dynamic verb. I can't talk right now. I am eating dinner. The present progressive used to describe an action happening now. Yes. El presente progresivo es usado para describir una acción que está pasando ahora, en el momento, que es un proceso, hay movimiento. ¿Sí? Another example. Sorry, I am out of breath because I've been running. The present perfect progressive used to describe an action that started in the past for some time and has results now. Yes? Sometimes the actions begin or start in the past and continue and result in now or right now the action. I didn't steal the necklace. I was sleeping when someone broke into the shop. Yes. In this case, we saw that with the present perfect, describe an action that started in the past, but continue for some time and has result now. In this case, yo no robé el collar porque estaba durmiendo cuando rompieron la tienda. The past progressive used to talk about an action that was happening in the past at a particular time in the past and result now on after. Yes? Next. Stative and action verbs. State. A state means some things staying the same. The flat is clean. The box contains all books. Yes? In the box. State verb cannot usually be continued. Remember, in steady verbs don't use continued tense. Example, the box is containing all books. We don't use containing, yes? Different in action or dynamic verbs. An action means something happening in the moment, yes, or now. I am cleaning the flat. He put the books in the box, yes? The verbs is in right now. It's in bold. Remember, you can see the verb in bold. Another example is action verbs can be simple or continued. Yes. He was putting the books in the box. Yes. The most common steady verb is the verb to be. That is the most common when we talk about the steady verbs. Other steady verbs are verbs that describe mental process like, or example, believe, feel, remember, doubt, gather, now, mean, think, understand, expect, admit, agree, imagine, realize, suppose. This is a mental process when you think about something, yes? And we can use the verb to be. Another verb is of appearance. When you use appear, seem, look, resemble. Verbs that describe emotional state. Remember, some verbs represent the emotion. Yes, like love, care, dislike, hate, want, wish, preferred, like, and hope. Another verse of bodily sensation, age, feel sick, heart, and it. Some verb that describes sense, yes, like hear, smell, taste, see, sound, look, and feel. Another verb in the steady verb represent possession, like own, belong, need, owe, have, possess, contain. Others like promise, refuse, agree, deny, depend, fit, involve, and mother. We can use steady verbs in a continuous form when they have an active meaning. I am testing this to see if it is salty. She is behaving ready presently. Only when the activity means important, something important. When they emphasize change or development. More schools will be including Shakespeare in their literature class. In this case, we can use steady verbs. Next. Yes. Sometimes using simple of continue involve change meaning. Stated. Simple tense. I think you are right. This is some examples, sentences in this box. I think you are right. We have 3 cars. The picture looks nice. She appears very nervous. Remember, it is a steady verb. The bag weighs 5 kilos. This flower smells very sweet, but we can see in another box the action or the simple or continued tense. I am thinking about the problem. We can see the ing in the verb think. We are having lunch. I am looking at this picture. She's appearing in this film. They are waiting my back. Come and smell these flowers. So example with the verb to be. Permanent quality. Claire is a very sociable person. That man is an idiot. Temporary behavior. When we use the verb to be. Andrew is being very sociable today. You are being an idiot this morning. We can use some state verbs in the continue to talk about a short period of time. Permanent state, simple tense. I love Paris. Holiday costs a lot of money. I work as a receptionist. Short period. Continuous. We use continuous. I am loving this part. This trip is costing me a lot of money. We hear before in other video. I am working as a receptionist. Next. Yes. Steady verbs. Steady verb describe state or condition. Yes. Example, I know, believe, or understand. These verbs can be used in simple and perfect tenses and aspects. However, they cannot be used in the continuous or progressive forms. This limitation makes steady verbs a little more difficult to master, which means practice is necessary. Steady verb, correctly usage. And simple, I know, I knew, I will know. The perfect, I have known, I had known, I will have known. The incorrect form in steady verbs in continue. I am knowing. No. We have to say I know, not I am knowing. I was knowing is incorrect. We use in the past. I knew. I will be knowing. No. We have to say I will know. Imperfect continue, no, don't use in this verb. I have known. I have been knowing is incorrect. I had been knowing. The form correct is I had known. I will have been knowing. No. Is I will have known. The another box, we can see that dynamic or steady verbs can be used in either way depending on the context or meaning. Example, are, have, think, and feel. These verbs are usually the most challenging because there are no one rule. You have to think about each situation separately. Practice is essential. However, by paying carefully attention, You can learn to use these unusual verbs correctly and confidently. This box, dynamic steady verb, correct use or form. I have a car is a simple for possession. I had a car. I will have a car. Continue for activity. I am having a good time. I was having a good time. I will be having a good time. But in dynamic steady verb, incorrect form is in continue for possession. I am having a car. No. I have a car. I was having a car. I had a car. Because the past is different. You need to use auxiliary in the past. I will be having a car. I will have a car. Next. Let's check the quick summary on dynamic and steady verb. Dynamic and steady verb represent two opposite types of verb. Remember, it's different and opposite. Because while dynamic verbs indicate physical action like jump or play, steady verbs can be a stage of being or condition like prefer or have. The horse jumped over the railing, dynamic verb. But in a steady verb, we can see prefer. Do you prefer still or speaking weather? No. A major difference between dynamic or steady verb is that steady verb cannot be used in progressive, continuous tense. Yes, don't use ing in steady verbs. In opposite, dynamic verb use the ing or continue tense. Some verbs can be both dynamic and steady verb depending on the context of the sentence. I have a lot to tell you. I am having lunch at 12 p.m. You want to join. It's dynamic. We'll see some examples. Like dynamic verbs, steady verbs cannot be used in progressive form to be an ing form of verb. Don't can use in dynamic verb. For example, the following sentence will be grammatically incorrect. Roxanne is appearing frustrated. No. The correct form is Roxanne appears frustrated. The incorrect form is he's wanting to speak with them. No, we don't use ing in steady verbs. The correct form is he wants to speak with them. Yes? Next. Okay. You can see link for the topic here. Steady verbs. Some verbs are not normally used in the progressive continuous ing form. We say before in steady verb, don't use the continued tense or ing. Some steady verbs like agree. I agree with him, but we can say I am agreeing with him. It's incorrect form. Another verb is believe. She believed him. But we can say she was believing him. Yes? Doubt. I doubt that's true. I am doubting that's true is incorrect form. Want. I want a new car. This is a correct form. The incorrect is I am wanting a new car. Yes, we can say in this form. The correct form is I want a new car. Yes, don't use ing. Mind. I don't mind. I'm not minding. No, it's incorrect. Promise. I promise I will stay. I am promising I will stay. Don't use ing here in stative verbs. Suppose. We suppose it's true. We are supposing it's true. It's incorrect form. Feel. You felt. We can see in this case the verb is in the past. You felt it was a good idea. You were feeling it was a good idea is incorrect. We can use ing in this sentence. Next. Now we can see this video. Let me see. Don't open the video. We have technical problem. Okay, yeah, right. Wait a minute. Here, let me see.
We can use them in the
Okay, let's begin
state
again.
of verbs, action verbs, and verbs that are both from espressoenglish.net. Action verbs or dynamic verbs are verbs that describe actions. We can use them in the simple or continuous forms. Here are some examples of action verbs. Every day I walk home from class. I'm walking to the store right now. I read mostly historical fiction. I've been reading a novel that takes place during colonial times. My sister helps me with my homework. My father is helping me learn how to drive. Bob watched 4 hours of TV last night. Last night, he got angry because I changed the channel while he was watching his favorite show. Stative verbs or state verbs describe a status or quality of something, not an action. Verbs of perception, opinion, the senses, emotion, possession, and state of being are often stative verbs. Stative verbs cannot be used in continuous form. Here are some examples of stative verbs with opinion or perception. I've known my best friend since childhood. Don't say, I've been knowing. We agree with you. Don't say, we're agreeing with you. He doesn't understand the article. Don't say, he's not understanding the article. Here are some examples of stative verbs with possession. You can say, I have a bicycle, but not I'm having a bicycle. Say, this book belongs to the teacher, not this book is belonging to the teacher. Our tour included a visit to the museum, not our tour was including a visit to the museum. Here are some stative verbs involving perceptions of the senses. Music playing, not I'm hearing some music playing. This perfume smells like roses, not this perfume is smelling like.
Tú puedes hacer, tú lo puedes lograr. Si lo puedes soñar, tú puedes.
I don't know what's happened. So
Not she has always been hating jazz. They need some help, not they're needing some help. Again, because stative verbs describe states of being, not actions, they cannot be used in continuous form. Here are a couple more examples of stative verbs describing states or qualities. This piece of meat weighs 2 pounds. not this piece of meat is weighing 2 pounds. The box contained a pair of earrings, not the box was containing a pair of earrings. Success depends on your effort, not success is depending on your effort. This class will involve lots of research, not this class will be involving lots of research. Some verbs can be both action verbs and stative verbs, depending on their meaning and context. Here's an example. The verb be. If you say, he is immature, be is a stative verb. It's immature. But if you say, he is being immature, then be is an action verb, meaning he is temporarily acting immature. Have can also be both a stative verb and an action verb. It's always stative with possession. For example, I have a car. He has a dog. But in certain expressions with have that do not involve possession, have is an action verb. For example, I'm having breakfast, meaning eating breakfast. Or he's having fun, meaning experiencing fun. In these cases, have is an action verb, and it can be used in continuous form. Look is another verb that can be both stative and an action. Look is a stative verb when referring to something's appearance. For example, that cake looks delicious. Look is an action verb when talking about directing your eyes to something, or in phrasal verbs. For example, he's looking at the computer screen, meaning he is directing his eyes to the computer screen. She's looking for a job, meaning she's seeking a job. They're looking after my dog for the weekend. Looking after means taking care of. Smell and taste are stative verbs when describing the quality of smell or taste possessed by something. For example, the bar smells of smoke, or this meat tastes like chicken. Smell and taste are action verbs when a person uses their nose or mouth to test something. For example, he's smelling the cookies. She's tasting the soup to see if it needs salt. Think and feel are stative verbs when talking about your opinion. For example, I think that's a great idea. I feel that this is not the best use of our time. Think and feel are action verbs when using your mind or experiencing emotions or health issues. For example, we're thinking about moving to another city. Thinking about means considering. It is an action you do with your mind, not an opinion. I've been feeling unusually tired lately. Feeling is an emotion or health issue, again, not an opinion. So feel in this case is an action verb, and we can use the continuous form. Finally, weigh and measure are stative when talking about the quality possessed by something. For example, the suitcase weighs 20 pounds. The room measures 5 meters by 7 meters. And they are action verbs when a person performs the action of doing it. For example, the butcher is weighing the meat on the scale. The architects were measuring the distance between the pillars. If you're a more experienced English student who wants...
Well, I hope that you understand more about the stative and action verbs. Now we can see another video, a few minutes. Yes, not at all, because the time is our enemy, right?
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss about the dynamic verbs and stative verbs. We will learn how to use them and how not to use them. We'll also be looking at some verbs that work both as action verbs and stative verbs. So are you ready? Let's get started. When we're talking about verbs in English, there are many ways to classify them, and you probably know some of these already. There are verbs as being regular and irregular, transitive or intransitive, and stative or dynamic. Today, what we'll be looking at is the fact that verbs are also divided according to whether they are dynamic or stative. So what does it mean? Most verbs in English are what we call dynamic verbs, also referred to as action verbs. Action verbs describe actions we do, things we do, or things that happen, whereas stative verbs refer to states or conditions. They refer to the things they are, their appearance, state of being, senses, etc. So let's look at the difference. Dynamic verbs refer to actions. For example, run, work, learn, play, eat, and drink. So these are actions. What's important for these dynamic verbs is that we can use them in all of the tenses. That means we can use them in simple tenses. For example, in present simple, we can say she walks or they play. In past simple, we could say she walked, they played. Or in future simple, she will walk or they will play. We can also use them in continuous tenses. For example, in present continuous, we can say she is walking or they are playing. In past continuous, future continuous, she will be walking, they will be playing. Or we can use them in perfect tenses. For example, she has walked, they have played. She had walked, they had played. Or she's been walking, they've been playing. So these dynamic verbs you can use in all the wonderful tenses in English that you know. Simple tenses, continuous tenses, or perfect tenses.
Well, in this video, we can see that different times, yes, or tenses. Simple tense, she walk, they play. It's a simple tense, yes, but it's a dynamic verb. In continued tense, when we use ing, she is walking, they are playing. In perfect tense, she has walked. We use the present perfect tense. They have played. Yes. Now we continue with another slide or diapositive. Let me see. Okay. Okay. In this slide, we have some examples or exercises. When you're in home, you can complete each sentence using the stative verb from the parentheses. Yes? If you have time and you want to learn more about the stative verb, you can do this exercise. Remember the answer is in down. Yes? The end of the paragraph. Yes. Now you remember some verbs about that stative verb and dynamic verb, like look. It looks cold outside. Yes. These don't represent an action. Yes. In another wise or opposite is dynamic verb is looking out the window. Yes. You can see in the verb that we use ing, the continue. Appear. Jack appeared to be tired today. She's appearing on a TV show today. Think. I think that Mr. Peter is a good teacher. In dynamic verb, we can say, I am thinking about the problem right now. Feel. I feel that Mr. Peter is a good teacher. Yes. I'm feeling a little tired today. And have, using the steady verb, we can say, I have a car. But in dynamic, we can use ing, present continue. I am having a good time. See, did you see those birds? The doctor is seeing a patient now. Yes, we use ing. Taste. The paper tastes hot. The chef is tasting the soup. Smell. Something smells bad. What is this? Anne is smelling the perfume to see if she wants to buy when she go to the mall. B, he's in measure. Yes, in dynamic verb, we can say he's being in measure. Weight. The suitcase weighs 20 pounds. The butcher is weighing the meat on the scale. Measure. These are different verbs. In this case, we use measure. The server measured 2 meters by 55 centimeters. The architects were measuring the distance between the pillars. Is in dynamic verb. The final, mind. I don't mind if we watch a movie tonight. And remember, in steady verb, we can use the ing or present continue. In dynamic verb, we use I'm not being nosy. I am minding my own business. Yes? Well, the final in this class. Remember the activity calendar, formative and summative verbs. Complete the reading activity and watch the video provides. Complete all the assignment included in this module. Remember, this is the third week, ¿sí? La tercera semana. Remember another activity, the forum. Please write in your forum. Please record and do the tests that are in the platform. And thank you and good night. We finished the class tonight. If you have a question or you want to practice, remember that we have in this slide some practice, and you can know the answer is in the last of the paragraph. Yes, but if you want to know more, please do this exercise. Now is that we finished tonight. If you have any question, you can do it right now. Ask me something if you want to know. Now I can share my screen. Well, is that for tonight? If you have no question, I will see you the next class. Thank you.
Profe, muchísimas gracias. La sección se da por finalizada. Les deseo a todos una feliz noche y hasta la próxima.